This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
There I am, guys. Keith Engel for TGI Sports Talk right here on the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. How are you guys today? Not in our normal studio this morning, as you can see, but we're going to do a little weekly vlog, chat a little bit about the Knicks and the Knicks early season malaise, or perceived. Knicks are standing at 8-7 now. Middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. A lot of new bodies trying to incorporate into this system. And the Knicks are kind of really up and down, man. They lost Orlando the other night. It was the worst team in the East in the middle of a massive rebuilding effort. And yet you're beating teams like Milwaukee and Philadelphia at different points of the season. And things are different this year, and it's taking some time to mesh all this stuff together, right? Julius Randle's scoring is down. But again, he can't carry the load like that for years and years and years, right? It is, playing 40 minutes a game close to and carrying the load. And the Knicks have tried to spread that responsibility and that load around by bringing in Evan Fournier, who brings the three-point potential that they didn't have before. Bringing in Kemba Walker. And they lost a couple of key pieces as well off the bench. Now, do I think the Knicks are in trouble? No, I don't. They're 8-7. Again, they're only a few games out of the top. But some things need to happen. Fournier's got to get used to playing in New York. He's got to settle down. It's not a place everybody can play, and I hope he's not a guy who can't make this happen, or the Knicks will be in trouble. But I think a few things need to kind of happen. And I know Coach Tibbs, and I love Coach Thibodeau. Certainly don't get me wrong. I've stood up for him with some of his harshest critics on my shows and other shows that I guest on. And I think he'll figure this out. But they've got to do some things to try to spark this team. Right now, there's very little energy on this team, very little athleticism. Probably saying that word wrong. But you need something to kind of kickstart this team. I think they need to do more of putting Toppin, who really played a good game the other night, maybe his best game as a pro. You need to play him more with Randle. You're going to sacrifice. I know it goes against what Thibodeau wants to do, because you're going to sacrifice defense because Toppin plays like zero defense. But he's athletic and can run the floor. So I think they need to consider that. I think they need to consider playing Rose and Walker together more to kind of jumpstart things a little bit. They might even need to consider, bringing Fournier off the bench and starting Burks. Although I know they like Burks, and I think they like the energy that Burks brings off the bench. But Fournier needs to maybe watch the game a little bit more at the beginning, and maybe that'll settle him down, bring him off the bench, give him a chance for the game to get started, and then get himself into the flow of the game that way. But then you lose the energy of Burks off the bench. And the second unit here has been better than the first unit on many, many nights. Rose and Burks and Toppin, right? And Gibson, of course, filling in one of Tibbs's favorites in the center position. And Quickly's provided some good moments. But probably the most drastic thing I think Coach Tibbs needs to consider is playing Quentin Grimes more. In the little bit of time that Grimes has had to play, he brings that energy. He brings that athleticism. Boy, I can't say that word. But it doesn't go, it doesn't fit with what Coach Thibodeau likes to do in playing kids. And Carlos, my my arch rival. Maybe some news coming up about Carlos in the future here. This is kind of feeding into his argument, and I'm getting on board with this on this one topic. Quentin Grimes, and the little bit that he's played, brings a lot of energy to the court. Plays really good defense, I think, too. He's listed as shooting guard. I think he can play both positions and move around. So I think Thibodeau needs to consider making some of these more drastic moves. Again, I think you need to get Toppin on the court more, and really the only way to do that without, seriously changing Randall's role or Barrett's role is to get him on the floor at the same time. I mean, think about a lineup right now with Toppin, Randall, Barrett, Rose, and Walker. Move Fournier back a little bit. I thought this was a great trade. I still think it will work out to be a great move anyway. But maybe get Grimes into the rotation a little bit more, right? And you get Burks as well coming off the bench. Then you'll have Fournier coming off the bench as your sharpshooter. I think it's something that Coach Tibbs should consider doing. Are you going to sacrifice defense, which is Thibodeau's, bread and butter? Absolutely, you are. But I just think it's time to shake things up a little bit here before this malaise becomes embedded. It's not a big deal right now. 8-7, 15 games into the season. I just think it's time to make sure that we're looking at all the options here. I think Kemba Walker will be fine. I think Rose will be fine. Can they all play major minutes? No. But you can start Rose, or you can play Rose and Walker together more, right? Right now, they're more or less playing the point guard position and switching in and out. They don't play together on the floor that much, and I think they should. Same with Toppin and Randall. Randall's numbers are down, and something seems a little different with Randall. I'm not sure what it is, and I think it could be just, again, adjusting to the new people around him. I'm not worried about Randall's numbers being down. Randall's numbers should be down if this team, as it's constructed, goes out and performs as it should. So I think I'm still excited about the possibilities here. I just want to see Coach Tibbs get a little bit more flexible in his thinking, especially when it comes to Grimes and Toppin. Toppin's starting to show, that explosiveness. He even made some 3-pointers this week, which has not been a strong suit for him as well. Problem with Toppin's going to be defense. It's always going to be defense. He doesn't even pretend to play defense right now. He's got to get better there. And then Coach Tibbs will get more confidence in him. So there's my take on what we need to do here to get this team rolling. That doesn't mean you don't play Fournier. It doesn't mean you don't play Burks as much. It doesn't mean you don't play Quickly, who I still love. I still think he gives him a burst when he comes in the game. But they're not playing the best defense in the world right now because of the low energy on the court. And maybe it's time to, sacrifice a little bit of that for a little bit more offense. And it's not just about the offense. It's about the energy level on the court. Team's not there. Team knows this is a long season. I do think the East is better this year than it's been the last few years. And, I had said that the Knicks could finish second in this conference, but I don't think it's important that they do that. There's a lot of really good teams in this conference, and the Knicks can't get hung up on the fact that they've got to chase the top teams during the regular season. Top 4, ideal. Top 2, great. But the Knicks could step back from that winning percentage they had last year a little bit of 560 something And it wouldn't mean they were worse because the conference is better. And I think it's time that they start to try to shake things up a little bit, even if it's not for the long run. Even if it's just to get Fournier on track. And again, I don't think it's a done. I like the kid, and I still think he'll make it. But you got to remember, New York's not for everybody. Playing in Orlando, certainly different than playing at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. So I don't know your guys' thoughts. Are we worried about the Knicks? Are you worried? I'm not really worried, but I want to see a little bit more flexibility out of Coach Tibbs. And I want to see more energy level out of the players that are playing, especially that first unit, guys. Step it up. You're 15 games into the season. I know it doesn't feel like much, right? But it's 20% of the season. Well, not quite 20%. You're going to reach 20% very quickly. Again, 8-7 is not the end of the world when 11 wins is leading the conference. But remember, the Heat are better. The Bulls are better. The Hornets are better. The Wizards are better. Everybody's better, except maybe the 76ers. And interestingly enough, the Bucks are struggling along with the Knicks. I expect the Bucks to rise to the top. Still do. And I think the Knicks will get it together. But I hope they take this. And Quentin Grimes, get him in the game. Get him in the mix, Coach. Carlos will like this vlog this week, I think. Guys, Keith Engel, TGI Sports Talk. Just a quick minute to talk about the Knicks. Give me your thoughts. Are you worried? Are you writing off the season? Or are you still confident like I am? Just need to make a few tweaks. Get a little more flexible. We'll talk more as the season goes on. Keith Engel, TGI Sports Talk, weekly vlog right here on the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. See you